Welcome to the We Buy Houses podcast with our host, Brian Spitz, president of Big State Homebuyers, leading the seamless approach to real estate investing in Houston since 2005. Brian's specialty in this large wholesale operation is facilitating real estate solutions for people wanting to sell quickly. Each week, we discuss the ins and outs of wholesale real estate investing and related topics by professionals who matter. And now, here's Brian.
Hello, I'm Brian Spitz, president of Big State Homebuyers, and today I have David Munson. David is a probate and estate, wills, and trust attorney, and we've done business together. He's a great resource for people that want to do estate planning or have a property that they need to sell or any kind of estate issues. So I wanted to bring him on today to talk about some very common things that a lot of people just don't know about. So thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
One of the things I wanted to talk about today was the difference between a trust and a will, or just some more about trusts, because I see a lot of people that go online to places like LegalZoom.com or things like that. They kind of try to create their own documents, to save time and money, and I have yet to see the correct documents come across my desk when somebody's done that. They're either not right for the state that they're doing them in, or there's a lot of other reasons. So clear it up for us. Tell us, what is a trust exactly?
Well, let's start out just with trust. There's a couple of different types of trusts. There are trusts that a person sets up during their lifetime that are living. I mean, they start immediately. What can happen is the trustee can start accepting assets into the trust, and what the trustee will start doing is administering the trust according to the terms of the trust. Now, the grantor, the person who puts the assets into the trust, their subsequent incapacity or their subsequent passing away doesn't affect the trust. It just continues to go. What you want to do is that if you're going to, if the purpose is to avoid probate or allow somebody else to manage your estate during your lifetime for whatever the reasons may be, it's appropriate to go ahead and set up a trust to allow those things to occur. At the same time, in other types of trusts are trusts that are mentioned in wills. Those trusts don't become effective or don't come into play until after a person passes away. I believe the one that we're discussing at this time, and honestly it could be either one of them, but most likely is probably the trust that a person sets up while they're alive. That is a trust that, again, it begins as soon as it's funded. As soon as it's funded, it's a living trust. It's working. It's doing what it's supposed to. Now, with the will, a will is a document that each person does, and truly a lot of times people think a will is for themselves, but it's really not. It's for the people that they leave behind. And once that will is in place, it doesn't come into effect. It has no power or ability to do anything until the person who's called the testator, who drafted the will and signed off on the will, passes away. At that time, whoever's in charge of the estate, which also may have the real property in it, they have to go through the process of going down and getting appointed with the court to represent the estate to move forward with any type of sales transaction as it relates to real estate. Now, the difference is with a trust, if it's already established before a person passes away, the trustee can do a real estate transaction at any time that they feel the need to do that when they think it's in the best interest of the beneficiaries of the trust.
Right. And so I think a lot of people think, when they hear the word trust, they think trust fund. They hear people with millions of dollars, people that are inheriting fortunes, but that's not really what a trust is. I mean, a trust is something that almost anybody can benefit from who owns any kind of property. Would you agree with that?
Right, and it just depends on what the goals are that you're trying to achieve. I mean, that's why you would sit down with a probate attorney, someone like myself, and you would go over what the different options may be, what it is that you're trying to achieve. As the world becomes more sophisticated and the issues become more complex, having a trust in place will allow you to go through some of these transactions and transitions more clear, more smooth, and that's what it will set up for. But at the same time, a trust isn't necessarily appropriate for everyone. You just really need to sit down and ask somebody who would be able to give them the right type of advice.
So if you want to find out more about how you can create a trust or do wills or fix estate problems, You can reach David at davidamunsonpc.com.
That's correct.
Great, and if you've inherited a house or you have a house you want to sell quickly, you can reach us at bigstatehomebuyers.com. We pay cash, we close quickly, and we help clear up estate problems, even if you don't have an estate. There was no will put in place. So thank you very much for being with us, David.
Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to We Buy Houses with your host, Brian Spitz, president of Big State Homebuyers. Don't forget to visit our website, bigstatehomebuyers.com, for more information on how to sell your house. We pay $500 for referrals, so tell your friends too.